chillin' out. So I got my dad hat on, yeah. I could be suiting up. So I got my bow tie on, yeah. Dad hats and bow ties. Dad hats and bow. Dad hats and bow ties. Dad hats and bow. I could be suiting up.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of Dad Hats and Bow Ties. It's Kid XAB.
It's your man, Distinguished Gotti. Now tuned in to the most craziest, wildest podcast. And today we're doing squats and splits, y'all. Ooh, what's the open for? Right?
So, Naima, introduce yourself to the audience and let them know what you do.
My name is Naima Jackman, aka Miss Squats and Splits, aka Miss House of Pumps.
Oh,
I'm a dancer, choreographer, fitness instructor, personal trainer,
Maybe you get close to the
dance
mic. There
teacher.
we go.
Yes, all around, just talented, you know.
So how did you come up with House of Pumps?
So there's
That's
a
a
little
pretty lit
story.
situation.
It's really lit. It actually came out of a dark place. I went through a really bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to that man.
No, because y'all dudes ain't shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit is right. So, I was in a really dark place. I was depressed. I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel confident. And I would go on social media and I would see these girls dancing in class. And it wasn't just that they were sexy, but they were, I can curse, right?
Yeah.
No, you curse.
They were like really badass. It wasn't just like, oh, you're cute, you're sexy. Because, like, females are often looked at like that, like, oh, you're sexy, that's it. But they were like badass. They were like doing shit, like splits and flipping and shit in heels. I'm like, oh, okay. Can't mess with them. So I wanted to be like that.
Right.
So I started.
Like that shorty who closed the trunk with her hair?
Yeah.
That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy.
But I started as a company, so I just had like 16 girls that would like manage and we would perform, do stuff like that. But I did not know how to run a business. I was young, I was making no money, just trying to live my dreams. So I stopped, I worked, learned how to run a business, and now I teach classes. And I help other women feel confident and inspired and feel like badasses too.
Facts.
Say less.
Shout out to my boo that's doing that with you. She know what she is. Yeah.
Who your boo?
Yeah.
Speaking of boo,
The tall one.
No, hold up. Which boo? Because last time I checked, you trying to put over me on Instagram me, so I told to my friend.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about? I told you I had something for you.
What are you talking about?
We gonna talk about that real quick.
I don't know what you talking about.
Because she was definitely in that house of pumps, so I wanted to know exactly what you're talking
I don't know
about.
what you talking about.
We know what you're talking about.
You gotta call us anyway. I don't know what's going on.
So how was your day?
I don't know what's going on.
So Miss Jackman.
Yes. You get over there.
I'm straight. Straight as an arrow. Straight as an arrow. I'm straight as an arrow. I am gay as pride. I'm there.
I'm confused.
I don't know what's happening. I'm here. I don't know what's happening.
Oh man! All right.
So everybody wants to know, because we threw this question out there.
The main question. Go ahead.
Does learning how to dance make you better in the bedroom?
Easy, baby.
I want to hear this answer too.
This nigga is wildin', bro. This nigga wildin'. This nigga wildin', bro.
Why would you drop
Nigga, the episode is going out.
I didn't know. It gets released.
We didn't do it for the content, right?
No. I took one bullet for you. I took one shot for you.
Listen. What he don't know is that her man will come for you.
Oh,
Shout out to that man.
Okay. So anyway, back to the question.
the air isn't coming in fast. More
Back to the
ventilation.
main question. So a lot of people, they believe that, when you're super quiet, most super quiet people are probably really good in bed. And the dancers and, the athletes, the actors and stuff like that, that they're probably just, hyping it up.
Right.
So here's my take on this. When you're a dancer, right, or whatever, you do anything that's physically, like you're doing something physical every day, you're tired as fuck.
Right.
So even for me personally, I dated an athlete. I can expect him to play on the field for 4 hours and be like, all right, come tackle me now. He's like, All right, like
So that shit was whack?
it wasn't no, it was not whack, okay? But you know, like you cannot expect someone to go 4 hours tapping people
Right.
and then right away be like, all right, what's up?
Right.
So, you know, I get paid to dance. I get paid to perform. So
You get tired too.
I get tired too, but speaking on my from my perspective, I like to impress. I like to entertain. Okay? So me personally.
I don't think I was ready for this episode at all. I thought I was ready for this shit.
As a former salesman myself, I like her pitch.
You gotta sell yourself.
Oh,
So that's my thing. It's like, okay, a relationship is different, you know, but if you're hooking up with somebody, whatever the case may be, you gotta let them know what you about.
Facts.
You gotta impress them. And I'm the type of person, I wanna impress you the first time. So you're like, damn, what the fuck? And then I'll call you when I decide to.
So all the shit that you teach, can you do it with a dick in it?
Woo! Talk about it.
They don't say spoon a dick for nothing.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm not ready for this episode. I think this was. I need to repent myself from that.
I'm about to slide back in the inbox. I'm about to redeem myself.
What's wrong with this nigga, man?
Why are you doing this?
What's wrong with this nigga, man?
I don't, just letting y'all know, I don't condone
Black men don't cheat, you know what I mean?
Don't discount over here. I don't condone it.
With the lube, but
No, but in all honesty though, like I think the way I'm perceived on social media, like people assume like, oh, she popping like that, like she wild like that 24/7. But that's social media.
right.
I'm entertaining. Okay, like my goal is to get paid off of social media. So I'm gonna entertain. I'm gonna be like, oh, y'all want this? I literally choreograph in a way that's like, oh, I know they would like to see this.
Right.
I choreograph my dance and I like, okay, I need a step that's gonna be wild and crazy, and I put it in there. So I'm playing with the people that's watching my shit. But if you go on a date with me, I tend to be quiet. I'm shy.
I'm the same way.
So
Like niggas think because I'm wild on the podcast
right.
that when we on a date I'm gonna be saying some wild shit. No, nigga, we on a date.
We believe ourselves, we know.
Yeah,
I'm the same person 24/7.
Well, we know.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm the same person 24/7.
But nah, I literally been on dates where
60%.
where the girl has been like looking for me to say some wild shit during the date. I'm like, this is real life, boo boo. like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, the podcast real life too, but I'm on my podcast.
Right.
I'm opinionated on my podcast. I'm trying to get to know you, and I'm more chill, relaxed.
Right.
So,
and I think people would think like, oh, she's quiet. So like, I have that side of like, she's quiet, she can be crazy in bed, but I'm also an entertainer. You play some music, you got a whole show.
Oh shit.
You know.
Inverted platforms, hills and
Okay,
wedges.
you know the most. But
That's right. I like that.
but dance does give you a sense of confidence.
mm-hmm.
And I noticed from the ladies that take my class, I remember when they first walk in, just walking in heels, they're like nervous, they're like looking around, oh my gosh. A couple of class later, they come in some crazy outfits, and they from the camera like, honey, and they like, I'm like, oh, I know you got some new moves at home.
Right.
I can tell. But, you know, it does give you a sense of confidence.
Especially the girls that got flat asses, they got the most confidence, man.
Yeah, I saw the video of one of my friends at your class, and I can definitely tell she need another 2, 3. You know what I mean? She need another 2, 3, and I know she will come out of show.
Some dope ass episode, right?
Shout out to Sherrod. He was fucking killing that shit.
Shout out to Sherrod. He definitely came out to my show the other day. Shout out to Sherrod. Definitely had a do center on his lap. Yo, Pride is out here, baby. Love is love.
It's August, bro. Pride was 2 months ago. Why you keep bringing it up?
But yeah, man. Definitely.
Nah, but Sherrod came through. We might have to have Sherrod on the show one day. Alright, cool. So let's get into this shit. 50 Cent versus Rick Ross.
Yeah, it was a. I think Rick Ross has a point that maybe 50 quote unquote has fell off, but 50 Cent still has one of the hottest shows right now on TV that's coming back. So going to be the biggest, highest ratings ever.
So who's most relevant to hip hop right now, Ross or 50?
I still feel like 50 in a way because I feel like hip hop has taught us you don't have to just be known for being a music icon. 50 is always gonna be a music icon. I mean, his first album did 20. Like, come on, like, what are we talking about? Like, so, in terms of Rick Ross saying that he's not it right now. I mean, which angle are you looking? Are you just only looking at it from music? Maybe from music he's not it, but from other angles, business-wise, business moves, you know what I mean? Doing certain deals this year that have gotten him money. I mean, he definitely sold a fucking slogan, "Get the strap" to Viacom for $1 million. Like, which niggas selling slogans to big ass
And
companies?
also 50, you gotta look at it from the point of view that 50 is super relevant on social media.
Crazy relevant.
You feel me?
Niggas everywhere on that.
That's the difference between him and Ross. Like, Ross is out here, but Ross isn't as relevant on social media as 50 is.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the younger kids, they still knew 50
Yeah, they
is.
gravitate to that
You know,
nigga. He's an idiot.
That nigga is the king of fucking just doing silly shit and just doing and cooling on the internet.
Look at what he's doing his ex-friend, Young Buck. That shit is crazy, bro. That training shit. This nigga's he won't let him live. Yeah, right. Just accept it. Young Buck likes that,
bro. You can't knock the fact that he's not. Like, he might not be relevant in the music arena, but he's super relevant when it comes to television, and he's super relevant when it comes to social media. So that to me is all that really counts right now.
Yeah, right this second.
I don't know. I kind of leaning towards Rick Ross in the sense of he's been more consistent in the hip hop realm. I think 50 is no longer hip hop. He's more like a pop icon now. Like with being in TV and film and stuff, he's more of a in the pop culture aspect of things, not so much hip hop. So if I was to think about it right now, I kind of feel like Ross is more relevant because he's been consistent in that realm of entertainment. Like, he's been making albums. Sure, he's done the Wingstops joints and stuff like that. But when it comes to just hip hop, I think his music has been a little. I mean, I think 50 was, when he was big, was a bigger artist than Ross ever was.
Oh, yeah,
but I think Ross, and I can't even say that because Ross was killing at one point. It just wasn't for me, but he was killing at one point.
Ross was the hottest rapper in the game. 08, 09.
Yeah.
So he was up there with Weezy at that time frame.
He was killing. He was just a southern version, like the super. I mean, Weezy was southern too, but he was like
he was the
Miami.
King of Miami. Yeah, he was the king of Miami. You can't deny that. So I feel like Ross had his era and his time to do it. But yeah, if you're talking just strictly based on music content, Ross is much more relevant because he's been consistently putting out a project every year.
And let's not get it twisted. I really do fuck with Rick Ross now. I got the last Rick Ross, not the one that he's coming out with now. Port Miami 2 just coming out soon. Or no, the single came out with him and Dre Rose Gold. That wasn't hitting for me.
Yeah, Gold Roses.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that shit?
I like the message.
We need some more money in the grave. We need some more of that type of time. But Rick Ross, his last project spoke to me a lot because his last project was probably the most controversial when he opened up about DJ Khaled. He opened up about Baby. You know what I mean? That record, he did idols become rivals. You know what I mean? He said some shit that a lot of niggas probably always wanted to say about another nigga for doing stupid shit throughout a whole period of just being, in the music industry. And, how you touch $500 million and your niggas is starving. Which real nigga gonna say that and then you don't have a response to that? Like, how you touch all this money? And BG, who I used to listen to when I was a teenager, is still in jail and shit. Like, what the fuck did you do, bro? Like,
wild shit.
You know what I mean? Young Turk, he had this whole situation. He really came back home. Lil Wayne, out of that whole situation, only got $10 million. He's supposed to get like $100 million out of the whole court settlement.
Well, we all know that Baby situation is.
That shit was crazy, bro.
But what do y'all think about that Pusha T, Wayne situation that Ross did?
That was a little fun, and I heard that in an interview. I didn't hear the record. I heard when he said in the interview, he was like, yeah, he put them on the same track, but he didn't tell them that it was on. I was like, nigga, what are you doing? Nigga, I'm Mixie, but nigga, what the fuck are you doing, man?
How would you feel if you did a dance scene with someone that you really fucked with, and then they did another dance scene with someone you didn't really fuck with and put the whole video together?
And it was the same choreography.
I'm like, what the hell?
And then you just watching
the same choreography.
First of all, I move very professional.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call them out on their shit. Like, that's not professional
Say
at
it.
all. Like,
don't listen to
say
that.
but I feel like, yeah, it's just messed up because maybe, possibly, even if I don't fuck with them, maybe I would consider the idea, depending on how big the project is gonna be. If I'm like, oh, we all finna blow up, or like having that person will cause more people to look at the video, I'd be like, all right. But if you go behind my back and do that, And I think you just as fucked up as the person that didn't went on there in the first place.
Yeah. I kind of feel like he knew what he was doing.
She said that shit like Sky on Love and Hip Hop.
That's the part that kind of
fucks
me. That makes it fucked up for me is I feel like he knew what he was doing. He was like, I'm not gonna tell these niggas.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Because if I tell them, they're not gonna do it.
Rappers always do stupid shit like that, bro. Just to like be like, yeah, I got these niggas on the record. Nigga, you ain't get these niggas on the record. Nigga, you lied.
My question is, even if you put them on the record, we all know that these records have to still get cleared. So the fact that the record got cleared and put on the project, he probably didn't say it initially, but once the song was finished and it was mixed and everything was good to go, he probably said to them, be like, yo, this is the final product. Like, y'all fucking with it, and they still have to approve the record to come out. So
I don't know when the way I got it from the interview was kind of like he sent the version with their verse on it and got it cleared, and sent like to each party and got it cleared, and then just the record by the way, like y'all niggas is on the same record type shit.
He just trying to be indirectly known for being the man that put these.
I understand. I heard him saying on the Clue interview, and I wasn't sure. I was like, to me, it just sounded like he initially did it that way. But the final project got to get submitted in. You feel me? So,
well, my thing is, does it all matter if this shit becomes a number one?
That's the point. You feel me? I don't think it matters. You feel me? Like I don't think anybody really cares at this point.
If this record comes out and it's killing, I mean,
it might be shit. It might be.
Do these niggas care?
I don't know if they care. I mean, Pusha T is lit. Wayne is definitely lit.
And I think Ross has enough. Pull in the industry that these niggas gonna be like, all right, Ross, if you cool with it, then it ain't shit. You feel me? Like, it's not like he's an amateur artist who they could push around. Like, talking about Ross. So, they're not gonna bitch and be like, nah, I don't wanna fuck with this record no more.
You know what kind of bothers me about it though, son? This is the exact same situation with Tank.
This is.
Timberland put Shorty on the record and they wilded out on him.
But they wilded out on Timbo from that point of view, but that wasn't even really. What you're talking, that's different though, because I wasn't.
That's really DJ Envy's fault though. That's really his fault.
Yeah, that's Timberland's fault.
Yeah, really Tim is the one who
Tim fucked up on that.
But DJ Envy played it when he wasn't supposed to play it.
Tim should have had the record.
Nah, Tim told him to play it. Tim gave him that shit.
Yeah, Tim should have sent that to Jay first.
Right.
And be like, yo, check what my artist did on your shit. Like, you're talking about Jay too. That's
that's true.
It's kind of different of a
I mean, the difference is Tank is not a well-known artist. Yeah. Wasn't a well-known artist at the time. So, that would have been the biggest difference.
Who's no longer actually signed to that nigga. I don't know.
She dipped off.
She dipped off. Because she said Tim was holding up her records too much. She wasn't able to
He was in his head too much about it.
I would say the same thing. He probably got in his head.
He tried to Aaliyah her. Like, Aaliyah's gone, bro. We have to move the fuck on, son. We got new artists trying to do different things. We're not trying to be in their shadow.
But see, young artists want to put out content. They ain't with the waiting to perfect the craft.
Yeah, the waiting shit is over.
Well, that's not even this generation.
Niggas put out new singles every day now, bro.
Yeah. Look, they don't care about perfecting shit.
Look what the fuck Big Sean did. That nigga is the biggest city boy out here winning all summer. Got his ex on the record. I love this nigga. I comb that nigga head.
We gonna get.
I comb that nigga head.
We gonna get to that.
I'll pick that shit out.
You gonna let us sing it to your legs?
Yeah. Come on, Bray. My head. Like, I mean, I got that nigga.
So, y'all saw the Blac Chyna? Y'all saw that Blac Chyna clip? Anybody?
I've been saw that clip. Actually, this shit's old. I've been saw that.
So, what do y'all think about, like, the effects of a toxic parent?
This is just bad for TV, bro. It's bad for TV. Like, I think it's gonna make more people now be like, yo, you know what? I gotta let niggas know I've been fucking on my mother for years because we always get into issues. She always feel like she could run my shit. It's gonna be more like shows that's gonna come after this, bro. I think it's just bad overall. It reminds me of the whole Precious situation. We all saw the movie Precious. It reminds me of that situation where, Monique played the mother of Gabrielle.
She was
basically always roughing up her daughter, really truly for no fucking reason, but just bossing her around because she wants some little like pet dog bitch type shit. Like, but you taking it out on your own,
Have you ever seen a toxic parental situation?
In real life?
Yeah.
Nah, and that shit's crazy. Like, that's not cool with me at all. Like, you're a parent, you gotta be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Some people take the title parent as like, I raised you, I birthed you, so I'm gonna do. It don't work like that. And I grew up in a Caribbean household, so I know people like, oh, you do exactly what you're told. Yes, but a parent must be a parent. You gonna be something else. You not. It's like having like a deadbeat father. Like, okay, there could be another man that can step into your life and take care of you as a father, and the deadbeat somewhere else.
Right. True.
Just because you gave birth don't mean, I mean, I gave birth, but you assisted. Right. Don't mean that you are a fit parent. So it's really crazy and it's not good because that shit travels down through generations, and then the grandkids dealing with this issue because they grandparent crazy. Like, that shit, I'm sorry, that's just rad
So I have
shit.
a question. Do you believe in beatings? Because I come from
I'm Caribbean, I said.
Okay.
I got beat all the time.
Bust your ass.
Yes.
That's rough.
You breathe wrong, you get slapped.
You don't believe in beatings?
Nah.
And I'm gonna beat my child too.
I come from 2 Jamaicans.
You say
mother
that
and
now.
father.
You say that now.
Nah,
You
he
say
gonna
that
be
now.
beating his kids.
You say that now, bro.
You beat to you beat to discipline, but not to get crazy.
Nah, I don't think you gotta beat to discipline. I think
Okay.
it's just discipline.
I hear you, bro.
That's just me.
Listen, I hear you.
I'm glad you do, nigga.
Oh, yeah.
I'm speaking English too.
You want to do it's going to be
I'm
very
not
different.
speaking Belize, Patois, none of them things.
We don't have to talk anything at all. I'm just telling you, as a father myself, different ball game when it gets involved, bro. Because talking only works to a certain extent.
Right.
And when talking doesn't work no more, then what? Then what you want to do?
Nah, stay away from these niggas. We're not inviting them to the cookout.
I'm just asking. It's a realistic question. What happens when talking doesn't work anymore?
Nigga, I don't know, nigga. I live in America. We got counseling, we got programs.
Counseling,
We got.
Okay.
This ain't the islands, bro. And I used to love hitting my parents with that line, like, yo, this ain't the islands. I just read in the paper, no exaggeration, a woman just got locked up for beating her son with a broom. In America. I was like, damn, it's getting crazy out there.
What the problem is right now is we're running away from discipline, but what's a true way to discipline if you can't effectively counsel your child through just verbal speaking? I want you to do this simple instructions. What happens when those fail? Because children will push your boundaries. So if you can't discipline them through just simple instructions, then how else are you going to discipline them?
I mean, listen, we could debate that all day because there are different methods of disciplining children. They even say that corporal punishment, there isn't science to back up that it's effective. So people have different ways. I know that one of my homeboys, when he used to do dumb shit, his father used to make him do push-ups. His father used to make him do squats on the wall until his legs hurt and shit like that. And that was the way he disciplined them without it.
Don't hurt my legs.
So there are different ways. I mean, but I think most of us are raised to have gotten a little pow every now and then.
Nigga, pow. It was a chip up 2 cloud. What the fuck this nigga talking about?
I think
This nigga crazy.
that's the difference. I think there's a difference between I'm gonna bust your ass to the point where I'm giving you bruises and shit like that.
I've had bruises. We all probably had bruises.
Spanking.
I've had
You feel
bruises.
me? Like, I'm gonna give you a spanking now because you have to understand that there's measures beyond just go to your room, just time out. I'm gonna take away your phone. These things lead to other things because we can talk about it at a different time. But it's a matter of debate. That's the truth.
You need to bring your ass on tea time and have an intervention. You gotta see the other side.
I don't need an intervention, bro. I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, as long as there's no bruises and stuff like
I've had
that,
bruises.
they haven't said. I mean, you that's a different story. I'm not going into that.
Yeah, I have
that ain't my
bruises
too.
too. I was fucked up when I was a kid.
Alright, well, they say that actually does the adverse. That doesn't help at all when you beat a kid to bruises and stuff.
Didn't
like
help me. I was quiet. Angela, Maya Angelou, nigga.
I mean, I was just chiming in one quick thing, and I think it depends on. I think the problem we have with it in America in particular is when you get your ass busted at home and you go to school and you talk to your friends and they're looking at you like, oh, your parents actually hit you. And these kids talk amongst themselves. And that child starts to believe in themselves like, oh, why am I the only one being hit? Because nobody else is doing it.
I don't even think it's that, my nigga. It's not really. Listen, we've grown up in a culture that is accepted, but I don't really think that that's like the best way to go about things. Period. I'm not saying that it may never happen, because you never know until you have a child, but it still isn't the best way to discipline a child, and there are times where it goes too far. Like a kid should never get bruises. That should never happen.
That's a fact. You hear that, mom and dad?
All right, this nigga's fine. But a kid should never be beaten until they have bruises. A kid should never be beaten to the point where they're scared of you, like to the point of like, yo, I'm hiding in the closet when this nigga comes home.
Did that?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's beyond. That's beyond the. That's beyond the
A
pale.
little pat so they know not to do it, but not to like.
Yeah, that's beyond the. That's beyond the pale. That shouldn't happen. So.
This nigga said pow pow. I can't go off that. I can't go off pow pow.
Listen, I've seen niggas get their ass buzzed and they come out perfectly fine. I've seen people get their ass buzzed and they were abused and now they like
That's the difference.
doing that shit to other
Thing.
people.
That's a fact. Abuse is a real
So,
thing.
I mean, I think everybody though has a different gauge of abuse nowadays. But to me, psychologically, if you're getting beat till you got bruises, that's abuse. You shouldn't be getting bruises. Alright.
I agree.
Yeah, speaking about abuse, Kodak Black said he want to cause some abuse to Miami.
Yo, this
Punch her in the stomach. I was like, oh, this nigga trying to do more jail time. Okay.
This
nigga's an idiot.
Nah, that nigga's out of here.
Yeah,
He gotta be out of
He's
here.
an idiot.
Yeah, we gotta be done with
Pulling
him.
on the demon, oh God. Yeah, nigga.
Like at this point, we gotta be done with him because what is it? He had like 2 rape allegations.
Yeah, nah.
The nigga got caught with a gun. That's why he's in jail now.
I think he did the rape situation. He just looked like he's off, bro.
Nah, I mean he act like he did that.
We canceled Kels for good because it's over for him. We've been canceled Bill Cosby. It's over for him. Kodak's next on the docket.
As the female in the room, how do you feel about Kodak's comments about punching
Just
you on
overall,
Miami?
Kodak just look crazy. He could come me with $100 million. I'd be like, you still got some step. Like, don't he look like he needs to be in something?
I don't know how big
Mental
the fucking
institution.
I don't know how
Like,
they
he
fucking.
crazy. Like,
That's probably how the ski mask came into play.
Yeah, pulling on the
A bitch probably told her,
ski mask.
yo, the only way I'm doing this is you put the ski mask on. Like that's the only thing I'm
Pull the
fucking
tape out my belt and abuse you like it's your
Yo, what's on the docket, bro? What's on the? So you say you ain't like that Ross project, the Ross Drake drink?
Nah, I didn't like it at all. I thought I would have liked it because I'm like, Ross and Drake always make fire shit. I stand, like, we love all this shit. But this shit, I was like, I don't know, this shit is actually shit. Like, this shit goes in the shit.
I ain't gonna say it's complete trash.
No, it's not complete trash,
I
but
like
it's
the
like,
message because I like what it represents. And
yeah,
what it
but
comes
I didn't think it was bad.
it's not what we used to.
The only thing I didn't like is when they repeated the hook. They added that ad lib he put on the like the front part of it where he's it was like he was gearing up to start singing or whatever. And I was like, they didn't need it on the second part of the hook.
When I heard it, I was my first. I might have to listen to it a few more times. I just heard it yesterday on the radio. So when I heard it yesterday, I was just like, I listened to the story he had behind it. I was like, okay, that's cool. I heard it. It starts off nice. Drake's verse is fire.
Drake's verse is stupid.
Once it gets to the bridge and he switches into singing, I was just like, no, it wasn't necessary yet. You feel me? You could have left it to the end of the song. You just didn't have to sing. But Money in the Grave is a better song.
That's what I'm saying. We need more money in the grave.
I mean, Money in the Grave is more of a club bang, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's
This is a sentimental song.
This is one of those I'm at the pool party or I'm driving down the highway. You heard it?
yeah, it's a cute little
Why not
vibe.
get the
Like,
poop?
that's what I was gonna say. Like, you driving somewhere, it's like a nice little vibe. I can't dance to it. Like,
You can't work out to that?
what?
You can't do a squat to that?
What?
You can't do a
This is
split?
like a
No. Maybe I can do a nice flow.
You can do a little strawberry daiquiri? No?
I don't even know. What's a strawberry daiquiri? You have to educate me on that.
You take us for drinks after, please.
Naeem, you ever dated an artist?
Artists meaning like musical artists, like
Yeah,
actual artists.
like a rap or a singer.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
I feel like I feel like
Cause I feel
rappers always find me. I don't know
Okay.
why, but I dated
Is
a
that
few
a rhetorical
rappers.
question?
No, like I literally like I've had like a lot of rappers like gravitate to me.
they slid in the inbox
No, I just like know them personally.
So you don't have
like,
nobody sliding your inbox
right now.
yeah, I have people slide my DMs, but like trash people.
Oh, shit.
I don't open the DM. That's how trash people are.
Hold on.
Oh, shit. Nigga, stop while you ahead, bro.
What's the quota?
Well, first of all, having a 12.
Oh,
I
shit.
can tell from your little icon picture and like the way you're gonna respond. Hi, hello. Are you gonna answer me? Hello.
You
Hi.
got
I'm
it, girl.
like,
You got it.
What if you started singing like Drizzy?
No, I did have a guy that
sang?
was. I think he did radio.
Oh,
So
shit.
instead of writing me, he would give me voice notes. He's like, hello. So I'm like, oh hell no.
So how would you? All right. So here's a scenario for you. How would you feel
Yes.
if your ex hit you up and was like,
Oh, it's a good one. Let me set up.
"Yo, I want to do a music video, even though we broke up. It's called Single Again, but I want you to dance in it."
Oh, what?
Hey, you dancing in it?
I will dance in it, but you get here's my check. Here's my check. This is how much it costs. You speak to my manager.
Oh,
And my assistant. It's very professional.
Do you think Janae Aiko did that?
No. Janae, you gonna probably fuck Big Short on set right before they shot the video. Like, they live a wild life.
I'm pretty sure he was still fucking
They
with
live a
it.
wild
I'm pretty sure he paid him
I feel like she's the reason why they broke up, but he's gonna be the reason why they get back together.
He paid him dick for sure.
Like,
He definitely fucking right.
Yo, first of all, they 2088 was a dope ass. I was like, they gonna be together forever. Cause this shit, London Bridge is falling down. I know when they break up, they gonna get back.
The song is dope.
And I knew they was gonna break up.
The song is
So
dope.
I was
That
expecting
shit is
this.
fire.
Single Again is the
Single
single.
again, overtime is just, that's my work kind of music.
Overtime is a good, you know what I mean?
He tapping it in the J on that.
I like
I heard some J in there too. I was like, okay.
I like that shit.
But yeah,
But they fucking right now.
yeah.
At this
How much money does he have to pay you though? It's just hypothetical. Like the ex that you probably thinking about. That nigga.
If we talk about the ex that I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
that
he
nigga.
owes me money for pain and suffering.
Oh,
What's
shit.
the years that have
Okay.
gone by? Is the song actually lit? Like, it's
Oh.
gonna take off? I gotta
Oh,
make
is
that.
the song actually
How
lit?
long is the song? How
Pussy
much work I
reparations?
gotta do? Huh?
Pussy reparations.
So
It's not very professional.
It
So I'm not
really
even
is.
speaking to him. You have to contact my booking
Wow.
Damn, that's
manager.
crazy.
It's I keep it professional. I don't like to mix business with pleasure. So you trying to flirt with me and do business, you gotta pick one.
Mm.
And I already gave somebody that ultimatum and it did not go well. So
Damn.
yeah.
Okay, so you have to do
So you saying niggas can't get their cake and eat it too?
Hell to the no.
That sometimes.
Y'all heard that Chan shit?
That's good to know.
Alright.
You heard the Chan shit?
I didn't hear the new project. I don't.
You heard Chan?
The big day. I just see
I
mad
like
hype
pieces of it today.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
It's very churchy.
I don't like it at all.
It has a gospel.
Oh no, it is chubby. Well, he said that.
It has a gospel
I
feel to it.
feel like it's too much bounce on it.
You think so? But that's Chicago though.
I know, but it sounds bad to me. Like
You don't like him in that type of style? Because he did a project that already. It was very.
Yeah, he did
that
actually.
project was very
Nah,
doo-woppy.
the Coloring Book was way better to me.
Yeah, but Coloring Book was like a hip hop album.
Yeah, well,
He
Coloring
did a
Book was just a more well-rounded album to me. This one was just, it was probably what, 70% bounce. Then he had a couple of little churchy feels to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it wasn't hitting for me.
he is Christian.
I mean, that's fine, I don't care. I actually think the church elements is his pocket.
He's trying to
I like
to get more into Jesus.
Like the second to last song on the track, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the best one on the project. All that bounce shit was what killed it.
Well, if that is Chicago, then nigga, he bouncing with his Chicago. Fuck it. He gotta do something for them.
It's a
fuck
yeah, but
it's
not
a
70% of the album.
it's a
man.
very
He gotta give it back to his city.
It's a very Chicago album.
Well, not for your debut, because that shit ain't going
Nigga, it
nowhere.
was the big day.
But I think he did it on purpose because I think this tour he's doing is going to be a bit more live instrumentation oriented.
I mean, I think that's
He wants to
cool,
have his band.
Oh, he
it's
getting
more
his money
live
back.
experience.
but that I don't think that project is going anywhere though.
Damn.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I'm hoping that the tour is going to do it well for it because I could see as a show.
Yeah,
I said
it's
the
probably
same
gonna
thing
be
in
a
my
good
head
thing.
that maybe he did this for a show.
Yeah.
You know, he was thinking about shows when he was thinking about doing it. But first of all, it's like two Nicki verses on it, two different songs with Nicki on it, which isn't bad. She killed both of them.
Yeah,
Like,
she did
she
alright.
did
I only
alright.
heard one of them so far.
Yeah, she closes out the album too.
Okay.
So I'm like, she did alright. But the fucking overall, I don't know, the songs, they just seem disjointed to me. It doesn't seem like the project I would expect him to put for all this hype that he put around his quote unquote first project, which is really his fifth.
It's really about his fifth project.
Yeah, it's like his fourth.
It probably feels like his first project.
This is his first album.
Oh, it's his first
technical LP album.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He always dropped mixtapes.
So the
Coloring Book was definitely an album.
So the shit he dropped, that shit was not an album.
Remember, let me revise. This is his first for sale album.
Oh, for sale. Oh yeah, because other shit was downloads, right?
Yeah,
okay. There you go. He was giving shit away. Actually.
Yeah, this is his first for sale.
Now he's trying to get some real money now.
Yeah, that's the label.
It might be too late.
I mean, listen, I wish the best for him. He got that.
Nah, Chance is a dope rapper.
We're gonna see how it works.
Apple
gonna push it. I can tell you that much.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I hope.
Spotify's on that shit like crazy.
I like Chance, so I hope he does well. But
let's give him a chance.
I think he will. Driving here today, I heard an ad for his
Let's give that nigga a chance.
They're promoting his tour already.
It came out like 2 days after the album, bro.
Rick Ross got a tour coming up too. As soon as he said he's dropping the album, he's like, yeah, we got Puerto Miami tour already done. Like he said already got it. I was like, damn, our niggas is moving fast.
So that's where the real money comes from.
Yeah, because I see Janela did the same thing. He dropped his project. And I was just like, it's like $85. These niggas put the whole tour. And I was like, these niggas booked already?
It's
just dropped.
Try to get that money.
Yeah, they want that real money quick.
Can we see a Pump tour coming soon? How's
of course. You gonna sponsor it though?
No, I gotta talk to my director of operations.
Okay.
I'll come through and support it. You know, buy like a ticket.
Or the tickets.
I don't know.
We can put money together. We put money together.
We do need House of Pumps to do something for our live show one of these days.
We need y'all to do something.
I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead. I can't put it out there yet, you know.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
We definitely going to talk. I want a shirt right across my chest.
Oh, I have shirts to sell you. I want $25.
You got shirts for me now?
Listen, I live not that far away. Like,
I'm going to work after this. I could
Where?
I'm going to the city.
Give me your address, my mail it to you.
Oh, shit. Spicy.
Right, that would be $25.
YBN Corday, y'all heard of him?
Who that?
I'll be purchasing the shirt before the end of the show. Thank you.
We here. Who that?
I've been hearing him. I don't know who he is, bro.
He's a young kid. He's just came, but he sounds like Cole.
I saw the freestyle, and you know, you could always tell if it's trash or not when Funk Flex is making them faces. It looked like it was pretty okay. It was pretty decent.
Nah, he looked like he the leader of the new school. He got a lot of like.
Where does he come from, though? This is the first time hearing about this nigga.
I think he's from Memphis.
He's back. So have you heard that song with her raps?
Yeah.
He's a rapper on that song.
Oh, he is?
That's him.
I did not know that shit.
Yeah,
I've never heard that song before.
Nah, you heard it. I probably
didn't know the artist.
I didn't do a good job.
What does his name stand for?
I don't fucking know. I think YBN is supposed to be
YBN's
young broke nigga.
There's a whole crew of them, though.
It's supposed to be young broke nigga, right?
Oh, they're trying to be the new A$AP Rocky. You know,
YBN is a crew of them. There's a YBN Ferdinand, YBN, there's other little
they're trying to be like A$AP.
There's a other little nigga from down there that's popping right now, too. There's a whole little crew.
I don't know who these little niggas you're talking about. They all little niggas.
Yeah, I think it's fuck, what's his name, son? You know the song from the other dude that's on the crew, though.
I don't know what's up with these shits. They all fucking up.
Yeah, there's another one in this crew that we all know the songs. One of them shooter songs, too. Like,
I'm trying to survive, man. Don't ever point no bullet shit to us. I'm trying to get to work.
So we ready for these fucking debates? We getting this shit?
Oh, shit, boy. I was watching my highlights, boy. Boy, nigga, the memes that went out the next day. I was like, nigga.
So let's talk about day one, D. You watched some shit?
I didn't see day one. I saw a glimpse of last night's one, though.
Alright, so day one, we had Steve Bullock, Pete Buttigieg.
What?
I think he doing a squat right now.
John Delaney.
Hold on, my nigga. Stop. Hold on.
Buttigieg is my man.
Who did? First of all, the last time that Buttigieg.
He said Majin Buu.
Why'd your parents start putting Peter in front of me? Why would you?
Listen, you know, he's from a small town. I forget where. Yeah, so they get bored with the names, I guess. I guess they was like, yo.
What should we name there? Peter. Peter's what?
Peter Buttigieg. He ain't had a chance with the Buttigieg, though. I know they was beating his ass in 4th grade.
Peter But get your ass out of there.
Get your Buttigieg out of here.
John Delaney. We got John Hickenlooper.
Whoa.
Okay, alright.
Amy Klobuchar.
Huckleberry Finn. What the fuck? What the fuck,
Bro, the announcer, whoever's introducing these niggas is just like,
Where you from,
what's
bro?
up with these 10-letter names? These shits have 17 letters in it.
Beto O'Rourke.
Whoa.
Alright.
Tim Ryan.
Okay.
That's right.
Bernie Sanders.
Okay, that's right.
And Elizabeth Warren.
Okay.
That was the first
Okay.
night.
God damn, regular names.
It was definitely the B League out there. they had the fucking bench players out playing a whole game, my nigga.
You needed the 15th person. You said, just choose him. Just choose him.
He been sitting for a long time. Take him off the bench.
He's been trying really hard in the summer league.
Right. He gonna break his leg in the first 2 minutes.
I'm gonna say the biggest winners from that night were Bernie Sanders. Bernie was wilding. Bernie was like, of course, I broke the damn bill. Like, he was wilding that night. He was.
First of all, Bernie's the man. That nigga had a meeting with Cardi B. Any nigga that meets with Cardi B.
Yeah, nah, he really trying to get the black vote right now.
He's got my votes. I'm just saying.
He got a few months left. You right. You gotta figure it out.
Why is this
Why
nigga
you
stop
say
doing this
that?
every episode, bro?
It's been like the third week in a row you wish it down.
You gotta figure it out.
Anyway,
Let that man live for another 5 years.
It's not my call.
Elizabeth Warren also did well. I'm not playing with this nigga. Elizabeth Warren did well, and then there was a
That's the one that Beto O'Rourke was trash, right?
Who?
Beto.
Oh yeah, this nigga trash. This nigga been trash for the last 2 days. Nobody think about this nigga no more, bro.
He was on a roll, boy.
When that nigga came out, they was coming out with fucking campaign commercials. He's gonna be the next Kennedy.
Facts. The social media campaign for him was relentless.
This nigga on stage, I don't know what my plan is going to be. Like, this nigga is looking stupid as fuck.
He had a big guy.
He's bugging. But, yeah, that would be my biggest win. The biggest losers would be Beto.
He got beat.
Pete Buttigieg, he did well that night, too.
I need you to leave me alone.
That's my nigga. Pete is my nigga, though.
Pete
Pete is my nigga.
Just see Pete beat.
Just Pete, yeah.
Tim Ryan looked like a serial killer, y'all. I just want
I'll catch brother.
that nigga definitely. Then you gonna find they gonna pull up a video of this nigga pulling up on a 12-year-old's house. I was just here for the cookies. She told me to come for the milk.
She told me trying to book me manager. Pay for this.
Come on, my niggas.
I'm still limping.
Come on, Jimmy. It's almost there.
But nah, Tim Ryan really look crazy. That nigga, you gotta get him the fuck up out of it. I hope he don't qualify for the next debate. This nigga look like a wild boy, bro.
He's sitting in the back of the bus.
He did. He's sitting up straight. Tim, are you okay?
Yes.
You need a glass of water.
Nigga Tim and Hip and Luca, that nigga sound like he belong in I don't
That
fucking know.
nigga sound like that one kid you see and you ask them a question and they give you that one word answer, but it sounds like it's gonna be more than that.
So how was school today?
It was alright.
Okay. Alright.
Alright.
And then John Delaney, this nigga is mad funny. Y'all gotta watch the clips of John Delaney. Cause this nigga interrupts every 5 minutes. Like, they'll be like, so, Elizabeth, wait, before you get to her, I just wanna say, nigga, sit down, bro. Like,
smack your white out your face, nigga.
John Delaney's a wild boy. But night 1 was trash. Overall.
Alright, that was the overall consensus.
Overall trash.
All that.
Night 2 though.
All that.
Was night 2 the night where all the memes started coming out?
Night 2 is all the
All
memes.
the
Because when that nigga said, you know, in my culture, we have a saying. Oh, yo, man. He said the Kool-Aid shit.
Oh my!
I was like, all right, bro, you're doing a lot. You pulled out the gun.
You pulled out the big guy.
Yo, Corey,
Alright.
like, and all the white people was clapping like, oh!
You gotta know
He's so comfortable. this nigga sound corny as fuck. Don't you ever invoke Kool-Aid like that in your life ever again,
First
bro.
of all, have you heard that nigga talk Spanish, bro?
Oh yeah, that was last of it. Nigga pulled that shit out. He got tight at me.
I was like, what the fuck did this nigga just say?
Him and Bloomberg.
I think I just found a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, what? What is this nigga talking? No, that wasn't a lick of Spanish.
Nigga, that was liquor Spanish.
That nigga was on Duolingo the night before.
Let me tell you where I can get.
What the fuck is this nigga saying?
Boricua.
Dos minutos.
Dos casas, por favor, nunca.
But this nigga, when the nigga pulled out that in our culture we say, you dip it in the Kool-Aid but don't know the flavor.
Yo,
I was like, yo,
alright.
Rosario Dawson didn't teach you that. Get the fuck up out of here with that.
I couldn't watch it. That's why I just watched the highlights, bro. I would have saw that shit and been like,
hilarious. Right.
I need you to go to a different
Alright, where the fuck is Family Guy? I can't do this shit no more.
Listen to this stupid talking
And
about.
all it seems.
We had Corey was up there.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Bennett, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I watched this nigga for a whole 3 hours, still don't know who the fuck he is. So that tells you everything you need to know about him.
Big old freak.
Joe Biden. Joe, listen, I personally think Joe's the best candidate right now, but Joe be looking crazy at these debates, bro. The nigga be cutting himself off. Who cuts him? My plan, you know what? I'm done. What? That nigga be in the middle of the sentence.
Tell him, man.
My plan will stop, you know what? Okay.
A few months. Got a few months.
Niggas wild.
You got a few months.
Hey.
Then you be in an argument and be like, this is why I don't like this shit. You know what?
Bro, the nigga was doing that to his own self.
Check the heart rate.
They be like, Joe, you have another 30 seconds. He's just there. It's like,
look at Joe coming out the office right now.
That's the Blasio over there.
You got another 30 seconds. Alright.
He's like, you know what? I'm done. I think I've met my time. They're like, no, you actually have 45. I've met my time. Okay. Right. So, but all right. So we had Joe Biden, Cory Booker, we had Bennett, Julian Castro.
That nigga sounds. You know what? I'm not even gonna say.
Nah, Julian is alright. He cool, but he, I don't know. He's very aggressive. That's all I can say.
I like that.
Bill de Blasio. De Blasio was wild.
Bill
was wild.
Blasio,
De Blasio was out here wild. They call him Godzilla because he's so tall.
He's mad tall. I met him a few times.
Yeah, we met him. But yeah, he was being obnoxious. He was on stage wilding out.
I mean, he's the mayor. He got some pull in this.
He kept going at Joe Biden.
He got pull in this.
And Joe Biden cut that ass one time, and he calmly set his big ass down after that and say nothing else.
Don't let me chop your tree down, fella.
So then we had Tulsi Gabbard.
I don't know what that is.
She's from Hawaii.
Oh shit.
And she cut Kamala Harris's ass, boy.
She smoked mad butt. That last name, Gabbard?
So Kamala Harris was
wild accusation, bro.
I know, just out of nowhere. So Kamala Harris, as we know, be wilding on Joe. She trying to get her points up. So Tulsi was like, I don't know how you talking all this shit about Joe Biden's record when you're known for putting mad people of color in jail.
Oh!
You denied people bail.
Damn.
You put mad people in jail for marijuana and then laughed about it when people asked you if you ever smoked.
That's
These are the breaks. Bring it up, break down.
No, nobody looking over there, right?
Yo, I was like, she ain't playing. And then this was Kamala. I couldn't say a damn word. Son. She was cooked out. So, I mean, for those who... I like Kamala to some extent, but I knew about her record.
She's not for us.
So I haven't been pushing for her because I know what...
Only Bernie for us, bro.
She's not for us.
I don't even trust...
I don't even know Bernie for us, dog.
Bernie burned out. Right.
I only trust Bernie Sanders on that whole thing, son.
We not feeling the burn no more, bro. It's over.
I don't trust Cory Booker. De Blasio, I don't like his last name.
Can't speak on the Blasio. I got some people who listen to this that work for him, so I can't really speak on the
I mean, I think De Blasio, cool. He's not getting this. He's definitely not getting the presidency.
It's gonna be Bernie or Biden.
I think Elizabeth Warren got a shot too. She's a well-known name. She's
well known. I don't know if she has the pull within the Democratic Party.
I mean, she's polling ahead of Bernie right now.
You think so?
No, I know so.
That's what's in the polls itself?
Yeah, she been polling ahead of him for the last month.
Oh,
Bernie don't got the same spark he had last year.
That's what I just said. The Bernie going down, bro.
Yeah, Bernie don't got the
He
same.
got A&D ointment. It's over.
His pull ain't the same as it was before, but we don't know. I don't know. I think we won't be able to tell until it's like it gets down to like 5 niggas on the stage.
Mm.
Right now with 10 and 10, 20 altogether, we're not gonna know shit.
By November coming, we gonna know what's up. 2020
Yeah.
around the corner.
Whenever 2020 is right around the corner.
2020 is
Ohio, whenever that Ohio situation is,
Mm.
that's when we'll know.
That's what I know.
Yeah, I
That's
think
probably
Ohio
when
should be
you're
coming up
right,
soon. Yeah. So, alright. So for that night number 2, I would say Joe Biden came out. He didn't do the best, but he did what he had to do to survive for that night. Tulsi, I like Tulsi. I think Tulsi kind of picked it up.
So we had, bro.
She don't smoke, bro.
She's not from Hawaii.
She's a fucking veteran in the military, bro.
Don't matter.
Nobody paid attention to Hawaii, bro.
Jay Inslee was there, and Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is kind of popping too. I don't know if y'all know about him. He's the nigga that's saying he'll give everybody $1,000.
I just saw his ad on Facebook. I'm like, I'm about to go hit this.
You'll give everybody $1,000.
And so there's an idea. I think we spoke about this a little bit on the podcast before. There's an idea that eventually we're going to need this thing called a universal income,
Right.
where everybody has to have a base amount of money just given to them monthly.
Yep.
So he's saying he'll give everybody about $500 to $1,000 each month from the government.
Right. And that's on top of us getting paid?
On top of us getting paid.
Oh, that's lit.
The reason why is
I'm
because
coming to
of
your shows, I promise.
all that.
Did he give how he's gonna support that?
He has a way how he'll pay for it. But you know, is based on son, I can't. It's based on the fact that like in a couple of years everything's gonna be automated. So like the truck industry is gonna be wiped out.
Really?
Yeah, you know, Amazon is doing
Amazon
control.
is fucking everything up.
They're doing the remote control trucks. They're doing the helicopters. They're doing all that shit. So
Uber fucking got helicopters now too and shit, bro. Yeah, y'all saw them commercials. Uber got Uber Freight now.
That's what I do.
That shit man, crazy.
My only thing is, and I guess he'll explain it more in detail, but it's an interesting concept, but I don't think it's sustainable in our economy right now.
Mm.
The government, they have to give us a way how they want to sponsor and pay out an extra $1 trillion.
he has a plan for it. I don't know it specifically, so I don't want to speak on it without knowing exactly what he said he was going to do. But he does have a plan for how he would pay for it. The problem is, I think, with the whole Democratic Party right now, which is what's going to cause a real issue, is it seems like a lot of their policies are fairy tale policies.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see how you just like automatically like, yo, how you gonna like that's everything. Healthcare, everybody's gonna get free healthcare. Everybody's gonna get free schooling. Everybody's gonna get free $1,000 a month. Like it seems like
it's all idealistic.
That's what it seems like. Whether it is or not, I can't say. I haven't like combed through every policy, but that's what it seems like. So I think that's going to become an issue during a regular election.
Because you got to detail out these plans and actually explain how it's going to be executed.
And people just not believing it, no matter how much you detail the shit.
I mean, certain things are possible, but something like that, when you make a wild statement like that, as good as it may sound, when you get into the national elections, and niggas just like, how are we going to pay for that? How is the government finna pay every household? Because you can't do every person.
Right.
It's impossible. But how do you want to give every household $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year for 50 million households? Like, how is that number even sustainable from the U.S. government without bankrupting the country?
Print some more money.
That's not good. You can't tap into the Federal Reserve. That's just how you weaken your money.
Yeah,
too much money in circulation. Too much money in circulation.
So
I'm gonna take to your money. Shit.
I want to briefly touch on that Mario Lopez situation without going too much into it. So number one, the Shade Room inaccurately reported on that. So the Shade Room said that the conversation that he had with Candace Owens. First of all, I don't know why this nigga was on Candace Owens' show. Whoever his fucking agent is a fucking idiot for letting him go on that show. Mario Lopez is supposed to be this middle of the road, good guy, doing Entertainment Tonight. That's what he does. So he does entertainment. So he's supposed to be politically neutral.
Yeah.
We all know that Candace Owens is the chick that everybody knows for being wild, right wing, and getting Kanye in trouble a couple months ago with the whole Brexit T-shirt and all that, well, Blackzit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So why would they let this middle of the road, supposed to be America's fucking sweetheart, go on this show? Is beyond me.
They want the good guys to fail, man.
I guess I would fire my whole team.
Every good guy is one comment away from being a bad guy.
So he goes on the show now. Shade Room has said that he had made comments regarding he thinks that letting a young person, like a kid, transition, he thinks that's dangerous. And I think most people agree with that. You know, like a 3-year-old talking about, hey, I want to chop my penis off, or hey, I want to construct I want to take hormones now to become a boy. Like, I think most people would be like, that was what the conversation was around.
I don't even agree it up to preteens. I think that's a teenager. Teenager.
I think most people kind of have that consensus of at least beyond puberty is when you can have that conversation. Right? Like after puberty is maybe where a conversation regarding transitioning can happen. So that's actually not what the conversation was about. The conversation was regarding so basically there's this family, I guess, that they came out and they basically said that they don't subscribe to gender, so their kids, they're letting them basically choose whatever gender they want to be.
Billy want to be a girl today? Be a girl today.
So that's a different conversation because that, to me, that's parenting. Listen,
I have nothing to say. Just go ahead, bro.
I mean, technically, there's nothing to say because gender is a construct. So it's like, it's a construct. So
I hear you, man.
That's what I'm saying.
One of us is gonna have a gay kid, so we just gotta figure out how that conversation gonna go.
Listen, it's possible. At the end of the day,
where we living?
When we're talking about gender, regardless of how you feel, it is a construct. So it is something that is man-made and we conform to, and it changes amongst culture, right? Like the Scottish wear skirts, the men wear skirts. In America, that's not so much a thing.
Yeah, right.
So
Piper did that.
Gender norms and stuff like that. That is something that we conform to. Cool. Whatever your feelings are regarding that is your feelings. But that's what the actual conversation was about, which of course left the door open more to the criticism that he received, because then people started to say that he was being insensitive to those young people who are in there, who are exploring gender in that capacity. Now, for me, I'm not even going to try and touch on that too much because, again, that's a debate everybody's going to have forever and ever. I'm not even trying to go down that road. What I do have a problem with, though, is when I saw his comments weren't bad. In my opinion, his comments weren't crazy. He said, he made it very clear. He said, listen, if it's coming from a place of love, then I think it's good. He said, but I do think that conforming to what my child is telling me they are or aren't, I think he used the word dangerous, and that's what everybody's trying to jump on by saying it's dangerous. People don't like that. But he's saying, I wouldn't do that with my kids, basically. And I don't see where he's wrong.
That's his kids. He said he want to do it with his kids. Like they came from him and his wife.
I mean, they were having a broad conversation about kids in general, but to me, I don't. Even with that, I don't think what he was saying was crazy. It was like basically his thoughts.
You said it from earlier. Everybody's version of parenting is different. What you find your best way of parenting to be is what you consider your best way.
There's no handbook, rule book on that shit.
There is no handbook.
There's books on marriages.
There's no.
They try to make books on parenting.
I mean, I have a problem though with him. He walked his comments back after, but I just feel like we're in such a space where you don't word your shit exactly how a certain group thinks you should word it.
That's why
especially a group that controls entertainment.
Yeah,
this is why.
Well, that's what they were talking about too in that interview. I don't fuck with Candace Owens like that, but she's good at what she does though. Her interviews,
that's why she gets paid what she
She's
does.
great at directing the conversation.
She is great
She's
at
a journalist. She knows how to land it to get you.
I give her that.
But in the conversation, they basically apparently Mario Lopez is a conservative. He's more.
He said that.
Yeah, he's more conservative than he is liberal. He claims that he's an independent, but he says he leans more on the conservative side. So the conversation was around liberals in Hollywood controlling that space and you not being able to be an open conservative in Hollywood. So that's what they were talking about. And in some of the trends, quote unquote, that happened in Hollywood, this was one of the trends as they described it, was some people saying that they would let their child choose their gender. Cool, whatever. But he was saying like, yeah, that's a trend. I'm not really a part of that trend. And this is why I don't subscribe to it. That's basically what his comments were about. And now that he's getting killed for it, I'm like, he shouldn't get killed for that. That's not something to get killed for.
That's the problem. I feel like people are pushing their ideals on other people. At least,
bingo.
You know, I feel like as a human being, you have that right. Not because you're on the entertainment realm, that doesn't mean you can't express what you feel. You can't always be neutral. And even though you should be, you don't have to always be that way.
But there's a difference between a difference of opinion and oppressive language. And people are trying to make it like, if you have a difference of opinion, like he said nothing oppressive in his comments. It's the outside world changing what he said to make it oppressive. Oh, that means that you're not supporting a young person. He never said none of that. He said I support all of that. I'm a firm, ally. People
just saying that he's not going to tolerate it within his household.
He didn't even say that though.
Well,
he said his kids.
He didn't even say he's not tolerating nothing. He would be okay if his child. He's just saying that for him, that's not the route he would go. He's not gonna be like, all right, you choose your gender. That's him.
Quick question.
Or he not even that he wouldn't do that. It was more so that he thinks that trend might be something that he's not willing to participate in.
Within this room, would you do it with your child? One word, there's a one. You don't even have to. You don't even have to.
So this is what I'll say to that. I think every child is flexible. Every one of us in this room was flexible with gender growing up. We may not have known it, but we may not remember, but we've all done something that could have been deemed as the opposite gender.
Understood.
So if my kid did something like that, am I going to chastise them for that? No. Am I going to refer to a male as a boy? Yeah. So that's my stance on it. So until if in their teens or something like that, it becomes more of a conversation. Yeah, but like the point was brought up several times. Kids, I remember being a kid and being like, I think I'm a panther. I think I could turn into a panther. At will.
That's understood, but I think what I'm more directing the question to, your 5 or 6-year-old comes home and be like, tomorrow I want to go to school in a dress. Your son.
What do you say?
That you've been.
I'd have to have a conversation with him.
You've been dressing him as a boy this entire time.
I'd have to have a conversation.
And he's like, but this is what all the other boys are doing at the school.
So if that's the reason, then no. It all depends on the reasoning, honestly. Me right now would be kind of like alarmed. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be. I would be alarmed because that would just be like, I'd be like, why? But if he's like, oh, but I really feel comfortable, we'll have a conversation about it, and it's a strong thing. It seems like yo, this is really what he wants to do, I don't know if I'll say no, he can't try it.
Okay.
This is my answer to that. And we're gonna let Miss House of Pumps take us home with this answer. I'm trying to sound like that radio person in the inbox. Probably was my brother. All right. So what I'm gonna say is we are living in a society where they don't want you to ask questions anymore about real issues like this. They just want you to be accepting of everything. They don't want you to question or just dig into it deeper. Because once you start asking questions, it's almost like, are you judging it? Are you trying to stop your son?
Which is not the case.
Right. So it's like, what the fuck? Like I feel like the agenda is pushing everybody else who never used to think a certain way, because this is the establishment, because we have all these parades and these laws that's protecting people with, you know, different thoughts and ideologies, and then they have their communities, they have their set laws that protect them in their communities, then they have, you know, civil rights laws that protect them, you know, in the world. If you don't just say you're on the bandwagon, automatically you are against the system. You are against everything that it stands for. So even I feel like if a nigga say he's even an ally, like, nigga, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Yeah, you gotta be really with it. Like, come to these meetings type shit. I mean, donate to the parades and the rallies that we have if you're really about it.
I just think that
it's too much.
I think a lot of so with different communities, I just think that they have been persecuted so much that they're so much on the defense now that almost everybody seems like an enemy. I think that that's part of the issue.
Oh, yeah.
So even in your instance where you're like someone says they're ally, but it's not trusted, it's because there's been like false allies and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that it makes this idea of like, if you don't have the same idea as me, you're just automatically this or that. I don't agree with that. I think that, one, you should always open the door for people to grow and learn more. I'm not going to learn more if the moment I say the wrong thing, you cursing me out and call me a bigot. And I know that that's not my heart or my intent. All right, I'm just going to be turned off. And that can even apply to race and stuff like that. If a white person is really trying to learn about race, and they're like, "Ooh, can I touch your hair or whatever?" and you curse them out versus like, "Yo, you're not gonna touch my hair, and I'm gonna tell you why." Like, that's a different conversation. It becomes a different situation. But
I think race is like tea and coffee with it, though.
What you mean?
I think comparing race to that particular situation is like tea and coffee.
Well, it's not a comparison. It's just more so of you can see where like people have their different silos. So you can see where people are just dug in here, dug in there, and it's just a matter of if you have a conversation with somebody versus just cursing them out. Like, a lot of what's happening is if someone says the wrong thing on Twitter, or even in Mario's case, I don't think his overall point was a bad point. But because he said the word dangerous, now all of a sudden
they're offended by the word.
He got
it's that much of a bad thing.
Well, yeah, his whole opinion is oppressive. I don't think what he said was trying to be oppressive at all. I think he even prefaced it with like, "Yo, I'm not trying to be any type of offensive. I don't want to seem that way. I'm just talking about me personally." So, and if you're talking about you personally, what you would and would not do, I don't know. Like, yes, there are times where you can do that and still be oppressive. But I think that we got to be a little bit more careful before, like, even with the whole, I mean, Kevin Hart was a little different, but even with the fact that that was years ago.
I think a good comparison is that those white parents that be like, I have a lot of black friends, but their daughter brings home a black boyfriend and the world falls apart. It's like, that's a good way to compare it. It's like, we're cool, I like these people, but the minute it becomes,
a real thing,
your home, you got to be faced with it directly, then you obviously aren't that cool.
Right. You saying you cool with it.
You're cool with it from over
She
here.
about to get that get out dick. Facts. You ain't cool with that.
Yeah. So Naima,
Yes.
What you feel about it?
What are you telling your son?
This is like really touchy because where I work at, you know, the majority of my friends are gay.
Right.
You know, like my guy friends are gay, like female friends. And I've been around trans people. I've gone to gay bars. I was at a gay bar earlier today with my friends, you know. But I kind of get what you're saying. Like, if I had a child, right, I grew up in a household where I wasn't allowed, not that I wasn't allowed to, but it was like, oh, okay, you're a girl, we're going to bring you dolls.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to play with dolls because,
Right.
you know, and I get times of change. And so it's like, well, if your daughter wants to play video games, let her, you know. But I remember my mom told me something when I was growing up. She was dressing me for daycare. And like, it's funny because as a girl, you can wear pants, you can wear jeans, you can wear whatever. But I was such a girly girl. My mom put me in some regular, probably some cute little jeans to go to daycare. And I was like, Mom, can I wear a dress? Because they were like, here comes Naima dressed like a boy, you know? But that's just how I grew up. But now in today's times, which I find is interesting, if you have a daughter, and I'm gonna ask y'all if you have a daughter, and she's like, oh, Daddy, I want to dress like you. I want to have my little fitted too. You know, you might think that's cute, like, oh, yeah, like Daddy. But then if your son comes and goes, I want to wear a dress like Mommy, I feel like more guys are like, oh, hold on now, you know?
And that is where, but that is where that kind of seems oppressive, right? Because if a female wants to dress like a male, we're cool with it. But once a male wants to dress like feminine,
if I feel like my son is doing it on some, I don't know if he knows or thinks that he wants to be associated with being gay, then I'd be like, yo, do it, fuck it. But then if he does, I ask him, do you know what this means for you? Like, do you know what that whole thing entails?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. When my son was 2, 3, and he wanted to throw on and put on Tiff's shoes, it was cute. It was funny.
Right.
Oh, you were running. I laugh.
Right.
That nigga's 7. That nigga puts on a shoe right now. I'm gonna look at him good. That's the vibe you want. That's the moves you're trying to make. Especially if it happens randomly. It's not something that I've been noticing.
But even at 7, kids do that sometimes. They do. I'm just keeping it about.
At 7, what's his name was doing that, and then he talked about it in his documentary. Bruce Jenner. When he was
7 years old.
Yeah, when he was 7, he said he was going to his mom's closet, putting on her makeup.
But kids do it for fun too. Like I'm assuming Bruce was saying that this was in line with his identity.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
But I do feel like I've seen kids like at daycare. They'll throw on something like they'll throw on a girl coat and walk around.
I'll give you a great example. What they'll do is things that they're not used to. Dante will come in with a pearl ring. And be like, oh, I got this today at the little pop-up shop at school. And I'll be like, okay. Or he'll come on with like a sparkly glasses or something. I'm like, more female-oriented.
Right.
But those things I know he's not exposed to.
Okay.
At this point, he knows what high heel shoes are for, though.
Okay.
He knows what a dress is for.
Okay.
He knows that that's not something he wears.
Right. Well, it's associated with girls.
Yeah, because that's not how we raised him to believe that.
Gotcha.
So if he starts to tell me now, Dad, I want to put on a dress,
they'll be like, why?
So then you have to have
a conversation. We have to have a deeper conversation as to why that is. Yeah. Even now, Lily got her little dolls and whatnot. He plays with it, but they're playing together. So I don't.
Yeah, I used to play households with my sister.
I used to play with dolls when I was young too, because my cousin.
Yeah, so I don't feel no way about it. But
that's why I'm saying we all in this room have done something that has been associated
niggas done crazy
with the other gender.
Off and shit, like, oh my god.
Yeah, we know you was probably into some freaky shit.
Wow.
Dolls is every 3 somethings.
Don't worry, I gotta work out like 10 minutes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Alright, let's talk about the Charlamagne shit real quick. Charlamagne, so did you see that? Did you see the clip?
No, but I don't know what the fuck it's about, bro. They have beef since the last time she was on the show calling nigga Leonard. We talked about this the other day.
So some nigga was
like,
Leonard.
Some nigga was like, hey, you know, with Charlamagne, he's really into mental health. And she was like, that brother is not into mental health. Let me tell you, Leonard. And she said Leonard like 15 times.
Damn, son.
She was like, Leonard.
I'm calling him Charlamagne.
She was talking about, oh, he can't be for mental health and he's giving people in our community donkey of the day. I was like,
you can definitely, that's why your ass got donkey of the day.
He's addressing your fucking mental health.
That's fuck right now.
Exactly.
That's why I don't trust nothing. This goes back to her going against Oprah. This is why I don't trust nothing she said, bro.
Oprah was wild.
Because she holds, I don't even know if that's really true, son.
Oprah, I have yet to see Oprah say anything about it. So
Oprah's probably like, I'm not
even formulating her words.
No,
she has to be careful. Like the day and age that we live in.
She's not going to answer Monique. She's
like, I just made $30 million in that one statement.
She looked at her and was like,
probably did.
this bitch is retarded. Like, and that was it, and just left it alone.
Gail, handle my life work. Interview this bitch like you did R. Kelly. Make her go crazy. I'm fighting for my life. What are you doing, nigga? Sit down.
Yo, he started dying for that shit. Once he said that shit, bro. Yo,
What y'all want from me? I'm fighting for my life. I was like, Cal, please,
it's
nigga.
funny, bro, what he said.
Nigga, I'm trapped in the closet.
You know when a nigga says some shit, you be like, damn, I feel that pain.
Right.
He said that shit, I was just like, yo, that
Yeah.
nigga look like he high.
I didn't feel not one look at that.
I was like,
Gail was like,
okay, brother.
yo.
You know there was a big nigga right behind Kells and
Ready to
got
go.
so close. About to knock that nigga out like Future's bodyguard.
Fight for my life. I was like, this nigga had no remorse in his eyes. None in his eyes. Like,
None, he know we peed on him.
it almost looked like he rehearsed, like he was in the dressing room rehearsing that whole thing.
He,
Oh, yeah.
he is an actor too.
But yeah, I think she needs to get her life. She needs to get her life.
Both of them. I think what Monique's issue is Monique is a strong black woman who got blackballed.
Love that.
She got blackballed. She was at a point, I think, in her career, my opinion, where she got stuck. And I feel like Monique got stuck when she did the movie with Chris Brown, This Is Christmas.
But is she? I don't know if it's blackballed if you're just rude to everybody that you work with.
I don't think she's rude. I think.
But we see it every day, bro.
Well, we see it now, but I feel like what was happening back then, I feel like people who was like close, like, did you see the interview she had talking about Steve Harvey? I feel like that nigga Steve really was not replying to none of her. She said she tried to call a nigga, text a nigga, email a nigga, left voicemails. She was trying to get in contact with the nigga wife to try for him to get back, and she was like, yo, so she basically said she don't feel sorry for that nigga show. Because she was like, it's his karma.
But that's what I'm saying, son. She's I feel like that's a nasty thing to say. Regardless of if, you felt something, like, Steve Harvey doesn't owe you a call back. You see what I'm saying?
But she said they were friends.
That's cool. He still don't owe you a call back.
Plus, you don't know what turmoil
Why he
in.
didn't answer her.
Yeah, that nigga probably was already in a bad predicament as is and was trying to dig his way out.
Or she said some shit that rubbed him the wrong way.
This is when the nigga was still on.
Yeah, but I showed them get canceled like that.
Oh, no,
ratings had to been dropping. Shit had to been happening that was a steady decline.
She could also have said some shit to this nigga and he
that
been
rubbed
like,
the wrong way.
I'm good. Like, that's Monique calling? I need some space on her right now.
When you're in a bad boat already.
I just haven't seen, I haven't seen positive Monique in a long time. That's what I'm saying.
We never get positive.
She's been bitter since the Netflix situation.
That was
been bitter before that shit.
Which was crazy. How Amy Schumer getting more than Monique.
Amy Schumer deserved more than Monique at that point.
Amy Schumer is
it's
not
simple
funny.
demand.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get it.
Be real, nigga, my nigga. You saw a Netflix special with Monique. Would you have watched it?
Probably.
That's not a yes, though.
I probably would have watched it, though.
Right now, Mike. You know when you would have watched it? On a calm day, you had shit to do. It wouldn't have been you scrolling on Netflix and be like, oh, Monique got a special?
Nah, probably wouldn't.
Not over Amy Schumer for the majority of America.
I probably wouldn't have watched her either because I didn't see.
You wouldn't have, but the majority of America would have saw Amy Schumer and been like,
I'm going to check this shit right now. You know what I would have watched that Monique special? After I surfed Netflix for 30 minutes, I was like, fuck it. This is the only shit I got to watch.
I also feel like, too, there's a lot of black women in general who. That's why I write the hashtags that I write, and that's why I have the conversations I have with the women that I have, because I feel like there's a lot of black women who they're trying to do great things or they've been associated with great things, and then they hit like this, brick wall, and them doing this shit like Monique is doing, niggas gonna look at her crazy and say whatever, and there's probably nobody that's trying to reach out or has talking to her the way that she wants to, because the people that she wanted to have conversations with, that wasn't trying to have a with her. And maybe those are the people that she needed to have the conversations with. She wanted to have a conversation with Steve Harvey. She wanted to have a real conversation with Lee Daniels. She wanted to have a conversation with Tyler Perry. These three powerful niggas in the entertainment business didn't want to fuck with her. Maybe right now she doesn't need to talk to another black female like Oprah or somebody like that. Maybe she needs to talk to her brother about, yo, Monique, you fucking up, son. I love you like a big, you fucking up, son. Let's start from scratch.
Plus, we have to be realistic. Monique, we live in an industry where relevancy counts. Monique isn't relevant.
Yeah, she's talented, but she's not relevant right now.
I would watch a Tiffany Haddish special before I watch.
The problem I have with Monique is I think she is the captain of her own demise right now, because Monique was on top, and for you to lose all of those contacts, that wasn't just some overnight everybody just decided they don't want to fuck with you shit. I think that's the story she wants to peddle, because it doesn't seem like Monique can take personal responsibility for the dumb shit that she does. Even when she came on the Breakfast Club, she wasn't answering nothing that Charlamagne asked her.
Nothing, son.
He was asking her straightforward questions, and instead of her taking responsibility, like, you know what, you might be right about that.
That was a hard one.
It was Leonard. Like, she just was trying to make him upset. So to me, that tells me everything I need to know about you and the conversations that you have with people. You're not in a space right now, and I hope you can get there, where you're pleasant, where I think people want to be around you. And that's probably how you lost your connections. I don't know, I wasn't in the rooms or whatever, and she has obviously a different story, but I also feel like I can't trust her stories over anybody else's because of the way she tells her stories. It's always, she's the victim. She's always the victim, she always never did nothing, and this person is just evil, and we don't know nothing about how evil they really are.
Where's the Snoop Dogg? Pay that girl her money, man. Pay.
What's the tough knot, bro?
Tough knot. We live in a world where I unfortunately am a part of, where you have to really be careful with what you say, because I feel like if you don't say it the right way, or if you don't quote unquote seem like you're with the get down, people are gonna find some shit long after the situation has passed, and then when you like on some Kevin Hart shit, they just pull up some shit from like 2010. Like, nigga, that was almost 10 years ago. But let me address it one fucking last time. And I also feel like, me personally, I just feel like, you know, and I said this to my girl the other day, yo, we live in a sensitive ass world, man. Did anybody see the meme with Rennie? I mean, not the video where he made and he's about to talk, and he's like, I bet. So then it's mad other boys. They're like, no, you can't talk about that. No, whoa, you can't talk about that. He's like, I bet. So we're gonna talk about this real quick. So he about to, no, you can't talk about that. You about to offend that niggas. So but that's how I feel every day. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm just like, I'm gonna just put out shit about my business, my bars in the barbershop. Cause if you really say the real, sometimes you might end up in a go like back and forth doing this, when you really might want to like do this or like this morning, no lie, like at 9 o'clock, I was conflicted because I heard two dudes, one dude I know, and then I heard another dude yelling, and they was about to fight. Now, a piece of me was like, damn, son, we in 2019, black people still fighting each other, and it's gotta be over some bullshit. And then I heard an elder yell out, brothers, what are y'all talking about? And then I heard the young dude say, fuck out of here with that brother shit. That nigga not my fucking brother. I was like, yo, this is still where we at. Gotta be careful what you say, man.
I mean, just to add on to that, I do think that I do feel like we might be getting to a point where we're too like sensitive to even have certain conversations. But I also think it is important to realize that if you're not of a specific community, it is easy for you to offend that community. So like sometimes it's really not your place to talk on a particular community's issues or problems or whatever. Just like we wouldn't want a white person to tell us what's wrong with the black community. We want them to listen to what we think.
They might know that the gentrification is out.
They don't know because they're not black. But like, you don't want somebody to tell you what's wrong with your community. You want someone to listen to you in terms of what you think is going on. So there's times where you can't be the one to lead that conversation. You're not the one to leave a comment about that specific thing because you're not of that community. So it's harder for you to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have an opinion. I think everybody's going to have an opinion. But I do think in some instances, it is important to be careful to realize that you're more of a guest in that space. But I just think we're also getting to this point where you're not even a guest in the space. You can't even try and learn by asking questions or joining in conversations, because the moment you say something not in line with anything else, then it gets crazy. And that's across the board with any protected
That's with
community.
any and everybody, facts.
Like that's with any, like that's race, gender,
Black woman, black man,
sexuality, conversations, everything. So
niggas ain't shit. You ain't shit either.
I mean, I literally saw like I've seen that though. I've seen like black women have conversations regarding how they feel men are terrible, and then men try to come and be like, "Well, Queens, not every black person is like that." And like, nigga, we ain't asked you that. And
nigga, who you calling a queen, nigga?
Like it get crazy. It'd be like,
yeah, bitch. Who you calling?
now this potential ally to y'all who might have been on some like, yo, you know, we gotta
stay together.
Right now, that nigga is like, fuck you, bitch.
I'm trying to help you, you dirty bitch. Wasn't saying that when I was sucking a shrimp, nigga. Oh!
But what would Dad say?
All right.
Nigga, we know how these conversations go.
I don't know.
That's why we can't have them no more.
I don't be minding my business.
People always go right there.
That's why I mind my business, bro.
Dad would say, protect your heart. That's
like the shit on the sidewalk, protect your heart.
Dad would say, protect your heart.
Fuck out of here.
That's it. I actually want to ask Naima one more question before you leave, and then I want you to tell the people, of course, where they can find you, and if you got any final words. But if your man got beat up right in front of you, are you staying with him? Like he got his ass whooped.
This is a box. She about to say this is a personal. This actually happened.
Got dragged.
This actually happened. Stop it, X.
Done.
Alright, so
He got done up.
I'm talking. That nigga was pulled off. He got a logo on his boxer brief.
That nigga had a big day.
That nigga's shoe came off his sock.
That man got nigga a coloring book.
And it was on the thing, he had to take mark up.
They downloaded punches on his head.
Black eyes.
that's really sad.
One of his teeth
guys.
came
Right in front of you though.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah, it happened.
I am very, very, very particular about who I date and who I have in a relationship with.
Can he fun?
So, obviously, you know, just looking at a person, you'll want certain things. Or you're like, oh, I want someone who's nice.
Height.
Someone who's, how tall are you? You're really tall.
I'm sure.
Okay, so hush. Someone, you know, who's like respectful, a gentleman, or whatever. And I feel like a lot of times when I date people, this is the one thing I don't really tell them, is that my main thing is that I have to feel safe around him. So when I'm dating a guy, he could be fine, he could be tall, he could be this. The moment I don't feel safe on that first day and I feel like you would just leave me hanging or something, I automatically don't want to be with you because you're supposed to protect me.
Damn.
So with that being said, you should be getting your ass beat. But it depends on the situation. Like, suppose like 10 dudes run up on you and it's some crazy shit.
Now I'm talking about some regular nigga.
Okay, like one dude just run up on him and
one dude run up on him
with the silk do-rag with the tie on the side. He don't tie it from the back. He put the knot on the side.
Honestly though, like, okay.
And what if that nigga looks better than your man?
First of all, I'm a ride or die. So if a nigga look better than my man, I still don't give a damn.
Oh,
that's my man.
Shit, a rapper. I like this.
That's my man. But my thing is, I'm a ride or die. So
you jumping in?
You jumping in?
Listen. The thing is, the kind of guy that I would date, I don't think they would get their ass whooped. But if they were to, it has to be some crazy shit like this dude is 7 feet, 300 pounds, like got 10 guns in him or some shit. Then at that point, okay, obviously I'm not gonna jump in, but I'm gonna figure out something. I'm gonna be like, I'm calling the police. I'm doing something.
You gotta talk to the nigga like, yo,
it's about to get real. Like, okay, I'm giving you a description, nigga. You're not going nowhere. I'm put your Instagram live, or you wanna fucking play, nigga. You going down too.
Oh shit.
So I'm gonna ride for my man. That's what I'm. But after I'm like, all right, listen. Let that shot
we gotta have a conversation.
But
you gotta go to Tabo.
But I don't think I would date a guy. Like, I just don't think I would put myself in that situation. I could tell from the vibe. Like, when I first got with a guy, I've been out with guys where I'm like,
so
I do not feel safe.
You like them thug niggas that every time a nigga look at you, what's up, nigga?
What's up? She
described brolic and all.
Listen,
nice shirt off.
Nigga, you was on gas and bow tie, or you distinguished? Fuck you, nigga. I'll fuck you up, nigga.
That nigga is 6'3".
Honestly, listen, you just described my ex. So that was my ex.
Shit.
You know. So I always feel safe. Like, if a fly harm me, he ready to fight. Now, I'm not saying that in order to feel safe, you have to automatically start fighting. That also means you're not gonna put me in an unsafe situation. There's some dudes who can fight and they're like, yo, let's go down to the alleyway. Like, are you dumb? I'm not going down there because obviously something can happen.
What
Like,
is alleyway?
I don't know, but nigga, we couldn't see.
Yo, just stand in the alleyway with some panties on. I just want to fuck some niggas up real quick.
That nigga looks at you too
But you
hard.
know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, and I feel like I'm really old school with that. Like, I like the gentleman. I like the gentleman that can protect me. You know, even though, yes, I can get my own shit and I can be independent, but I feel like a guy has their place too. Like, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm just independent. I'm going to fight for myself. And no, I'm not
There's
stupid.
mad women out there like that. Good luck.
And that's fine for them, but I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. Like, I'm going to show you I'm big and tough. Nah, I'm not. You a fool if you're going to get your ass whooped, you know, when you're not supposed to be doing something.
Yeah.
But my man is supposed to protect me. But if I go on a date with you and you like, oh, well, I don't know what just happened. You gotta go.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't
that's
protect
not
your
funny
ear.
when the nigga get his ass beat, but then like, yo, it just happened so fast. I was trying
It's
to
a
do
problem.
Yo, you ain't see me throw that punch though? I hit that nigga right in the jaw. Like I hit that one nigga real hard.
You know what I'm
It's like,
saying?
no nigga, you was asleep.
No.
So
And
we
I feel
still,
like-
we still dating after this month? Yeah. my head do hurt though. Yeah. Damn.
Nah, well, I didn't have the right shoes on.
So my shit popped like Zion Williamson on the basketball court. My knee out. The coach don't want me to
Nah,
play.
what happened was when I went to a pot, I slipped, and that's how he caught me like that. That's all that
I thought that nigga
was.
was my brother-in-law.
It was just a bad hair day. You know.
So Naima, where can they find you?
Well, I am on Instagram, like Mr. Gentleman over there keeps saying squats and splits. Squats, the letter and splits. I have Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I have everything. I have
Hold on.
Yes.
Really quick. You talking to a nigga. He's like, yo, what's your Instagram? And you're like, at squats and splits.
That
Okay,
nigga's
I'm gonna
dick
be
is
real
hard
with you.
right there. I'm just
I'm
letting you
gonna
know.
be real with you. Listen, I'm trying to get my Instagram. I'm trying to get my followers up, right?
Okay.
Like that's what I'm trying to do.
That's
So
enticing.
if I go out and someone's like, "Yo, can I get your number?" I say, "No, you can get my Instagram." They're like, "What's your Instagram?" Squats and splits.
His
They
dick
don't
is
even have
hard.
to check the page. They gonna follow right away. Am I gonna follow back? Nah. But they not gonna follow
I'm
now.
telling you, his dick is hard. It's squats and what?
Squats and splits.
Can you spell it? Squats and
Let's go to that shit right now.
You put an S or a Z?
Put some extra hearts
You
on
know when you put
I like the way you put that shit. I see your finger squatting right now.
You put it in. I gotta go to the bathroom real
Listen,
quick.
it's all about marketing. If I use my name, you know what's gonna happen? How do you spell that? I spelled it wrong. Nobody gonna forget that.
True.
It's all about marketing.
Even though when you put that shit in, her name does come up right under that shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good marketing.
It's good marketing.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Everybody remember that.
So do you have a final word for the folks?
Well, because I am a female boss, okay?
Here we go.
So you talk too much.
I
For
know.
all of my female boss, I mean for everybody, but especially for my female bosses or anyone that's out there that's trying to hustle, do they, whatever it is that they want to do, I definitely want to say don't ever listen to someone telling you no. Because I feel like I come from, like I said, a Caribbean household. Dance is not something that you're supposed to do, okay? You're supposed to go out and be something else. But I don't give two shits. I do my own thing. So I'm like, I'm going to dance and I'm going to show you I can be successful. And the next thing is to stay consistent. So with my classes, it would have been very easy for me to be like, man, I don't feel like teaching today. But even when I have two people in class, I still give those two people a class like if it's 30. So they tell two of their friends, and now it's more than that, So be consistent. Don't listen to anybody telling you no. If it's for you, God is going to make it happen for you. Like, you won't even believe the things that can happen for you if it's supposed to be for you.
I mean, I must say, I've seen your class grow tremendously within the last year, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You've been super consistent, working very, very hard. I know the struggles. I know the times where you've been ready to give up. You've been like, I don't know, but you stay consistent, and it's definitely paying off. Like, I've definitely seen the transition, and you went from, when I met you, you had like 3K followers.
Yeah.
And now you up there.
Almost at 12K.
Right. So, and that was quick. That was quick. So I already know another year. Forget about it. So,
You gotta hit my booking manager.
I'm not hitting. I'm hitting you, nigga.
No, you gotta hit my friend up too.
I'm gonna hit everybody up.
This has been another episode of That Has Blow Ties from XAB.
Distinguished F baby.
Yo, we out.
You about to get in trouble.
Dad had Simba.